Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Like and subscribe to Chief Peanut Nola 504 and this Aboriginal channel. It's nice to see everybody in here. When I'm going to I'm going to talk about some things that need to be said. Okay, and I will be on in just a few minutes. Make sure you hit the like button. Also share the content. And because I'm about to go into in different segments, changing up my style on YouTube. It will be less cursing and more getting to the issues of Americans issues. You know what I'm saying? So I will be going monetizing my content. So I will not be using too many of cuss words as I used to. But okay, I'll see you guys in a few. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And one more time, we're gonna get the stage going. One more time. If you come into the chat, you come into. Make sure you make comments. Also, make sure you share the video, share the content, hit the like buttons. All I care, it's for free to hit the like buttons. We'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome, 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 my Aborigine family, and it's a Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday. I'm live here in Alabama. I came all the way down from Miami, Florida, and I wanted to take the time to do a live. Y'all know always, if you watch in the background, you always know that I'm traveling. You always know that I'm always on the road. I'm always traveling from state to state. That's what truck drivers do. That's my lifestyle. My lifestyle as a truck driver. I'm everywhere. Okay, so shout out to everybody that are coming into the chat. If you all remember the rules here, it's free to hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to hit the like button. Even if you dislike any of my content, you can even press the dislike button. It brings more attention to my content. So if you guys would like, either you can hit the like button or you can either hit the dislike button, and I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Those people who are in the bushes, it would be nice if you would just hit the like buttons or try to subscribe. It's for free to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe if you are interested in watching my content. Remember that, okay? Shout out to everybody that is here on YouTube. I am going monitoring my content. So I will be watching the cuss words. I used to, y'all know I have a potty mouth, but because I'm monetizing my content, I will be trying to be mindful on the words that I use. Okay, so shout out to everybody. Remember to hit the like button. Also share the video. If you look at what I have on the board, you can see why Mexicans don't reach out to other Latinos for help. We talked about everything, a lot of stuff that I talk about on TikTok on this disgruntled people who are asking us to step up. Why are the blacks in America not stepping up? Why they're not stepping up and leading the fight for freedom of what's going on with the illegal immigrants that are coming into America. Okay, they're expecting us to put ourselves on the line for them, and they don't have a history of standing up for anything that has to do with American blacks, so-called black people here in America. There's not a history of them ever standing up and standing out for our people here in America. And I say this with honest opinion. Why the particular group that they want to stand up for them is so-called black people here in America. And what is the agenda for that? Why is it us that they need to be on the front line? Now, we do know that Mexican people have a big group of Latino background. There are other Latinos that you don't hear them calling on. You don't hear them calling on the Cubans. You don't hear them calling on Dominicans. You don't hear them calling on Puerto Ricans, but you hear them crying out to people of color here in America, American blacks, Aboriginal blacks here in America, foundational blacks here in America. And you have to ask yourself why. You have to ask, what is the agenda to that? And why so much tension and anger that they are having? So much tension and anger that they're having on social media, and why they're so upset for us not leading their charge. We talked about the civil rights movement. We talked about the civil rights movement. I talked about this last night on TikTok on somebody else's panel, and we were talking about Africans, and we were talking about not just the immigrants that are coming over from Mexico. We talked about all immigrants. And you look at these people and you ask yourself, how many times have they stand on the front line for our people? How many times did they come out with their resources to help our people? Never, never in history. Never in history an immigrant has stand up for the civil rights when we were getting beaten and bitten by dogs and we were getting sprayed down. We talked about Selma, Alabama. We talked about how the fact that in Selma, Alabama, our people were marching over a bridge and they were being tortured and beaten. Where were the Mexicans then? Where were the Latino community? When everything that we come together, rather it's Black Lives Matter, rather it's anything that has to do with melanated movements, the injustice, the brutality of America, all of the things that they have done to so-called black people here in America. Where has the Latino community has been? And they cool with taking bits of our culture and making bits of our culture theirs. They even get into our rap culture. They don't mind being a part of our culture. They even love saying the N word. They love speaking the N word. They love, we talked about the prison system. We talked about the prison system, how they won't even bunk in the same jail system with black Americans, so-called black Americans, that they won't even bunk with these people. They would rather go in a hole or fight. We talked about these things, even in the prison system. In California, most of the jobs that are being given, many YT people are not getting them jobs. Many so-called black people in America are not getting them jobs. And once Latino getting control in power, they hire their illegal cousins They hire their family members, and they're not hiring any minorities or even YT people. They're hiring their own people. We look at the population in Los Angeles has grown to the point where they used to be the minority, and now they're becoming the majority. And we talked about how many communities like Compton, where melanated people are being ran out of the communities. There were many stories of melanated people who were ran out of the school systems. Many people who moved over from the South and decided to move to California, not recognizing, getting into a community. How you doing? Getting into a community where they were being suffering. They were suffering the racism from Latino people. There was a lady who moved in a subdivision, and she was in a family. They were terrorized. They were terrorized. Bombs. They had bottle bombs that were dropped into. They were burning. It's similar to white supremacy. What we have been dealing with YT people. When we think about racism, we only think of YT people. But you don't understand that it's deeper than just YT people. Mexicans have had a anger, envy towards melanated people here in America for years. Jealousy. It's been that way for years. And yes, there are good Latinos. Yes, there are good Mexicans. Yes. But there are once they get into power in population, then they're no different than the YT people. Once they become the majority, they are no different than YT people. That's the understanding that you guys have to understand. These people build up like cockroaches, and they once they in power, they only care about their people, which they supposed to care about their people. But it becomes a form of racism and divide when they become into power. There was Terry Anderson that talked about this years ago in 1990. Terry Anderson told us back in 1990 in an interview. He talked about this in 1990 about what would happen if Latinos gained control of Los Angeles and what would happen. And boy, was he not, he was right on it. Boy, was he telling the truth. Many of our people who were living in Compton, who were living in LA, has been pushed out. The jobs are being ran by these people who are not who are not inviting melanated people. One of the things that has been told, that one of the biggest lies that been told is that black people are so lazy, that black people don't want to work in this country, that they're lazy and they don't want to work, that they don't want the carpenter jobs, they don't want these type of jobs, the Mexicans want these jobs. But what America has not told you and taught you is the disadvantages that melanated people have in the United States when it comes to understanding that we built the country. And when you built the country and you did it for free, you expect to be paid of your work. When you go to trade school, you expect to be paid the work. So when they bring illegals here, undermining them, and they pay these people cheap labor, and you go to school to get a trade, You expect it to get paid. You're not going to want the money that these illegals getting because they're illegal. They don't mind. Illegals don't mind taking little money to come work in this country. They don't mind going into the picking berries and fruits. They don't mind going into these areas and picking this because they know that they're going to get the money that these people are going to give them cheap labor. It's not that black people are lazy. They know they worked. Black people feel that they know they worked. And they're not going to take crumbs when their ancestors have took nothing. People who have picked cotton, the people who have picked tobacco, the people who have picked sugarcane, did it for free. Why these people come over and they get paid. That's the difference. That's the difference. Building a country, building the infrastructure of this country for free. Building the White House from ground up for free. Building most of the buildings that you see for free. So I ask the question, if all of the injustices that are happening to Mexican people, why don't they cry out to their other Latino family members? Why don't they cry out to Puerto Ricans? Why don't they cry out to other Latin countries, Honduras people? Why don't they cry out to Dominican people? But they're putting so much pressure on our people. We ask these things. They want us to get in line and be a shield for them. No, I tell my people, no, sit down and do not go out there. You fought the good fight. Our people have been fighting the good fight. And nobody have stepped in when the Black Panthers were out there feeding our people, when they didn't have no, when our children was not able to get breakfast, free lunch. When our people are out there doing it by themselves, when our people were out there fighting during the times of Malcolm X, during the times of Martin Luther King, we have not seen an ally. There was not an African ally. All of these people have benefit off of our people. The Civil Rights Act became your rights. Every immigrant that has came into this land got civil rights off of the rights of our people. And we talked about these things. We talk about how these people talk about this stuff about we're lazy. Even the YT woman got her civil rights off of us. This is why they're trying to bring Afrikaners into this country. This was designed by Elon Musk. They want to replace these women, these YT women who don't want to be in the kitchen anymore, who don't want to produce babies, because these YT women here in America are Americanized, and these YT women have careers. They are the doctors and the lawyers, and they have careers. They are running corporations, and they don't want to be in the kitchen in the bedroom anymore. So they are bringing Ukrainians into America, other European countries, so they can be able to repopulate, and they want to keep these Latinos out of this country because they are populating fast. A lot of these Latino countries are even we talked about this stuff, okay? And we talked about these things. These Latinos are moving fast in populations. And they're having babies at an alarm rate. And sooner or later, they're going to populate America, and they're going to surpass Europeans. Somebody said, "You touch me. Thank you for speaking up. You are absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you." And you guys got to understand these things. We got to get over the feeling this is not about Latino hate. This is not about Latino hate. It's about being illegal. And if these people would come in and follow the law and come in here in a follow the law and do it the right way, I don't think nobody would be mad. But when you invade somebody's country, because that's what you're doing, you are invading this country. You are skipping the line on other people who are trying to come in this country legal. Other people who have came in and worked hard to get into this country, you are skipping the line. And that's what we're telling you. And people get upset when it comes down to the truth. And it's not just Mexican people, it's African nations that are doing the same thing. And we have seen African countries, just like I said, Europeans are being replaced. The same way I told you that they are bringing Europeans in here to be replaced, they are bringing other African countries here to replace other black people. These people have came up. You see these people. We talked about these things. White people, all of you guys, you are not, you sit there and you get comfortable and you're not understanding what I'm saying. They're bringing these people in to replace you, the rebellion people, the people who are Americanized, the people who are saying, no, I'm not going to do this for a certain amount of money. I'm not going to do this for a certain amount of money. I've done enough to build this country. I've done enough to build this country. And we talked about this. I tell this to every African who keeps saying, you're African, you're African. Why you talk bad about Africans? When I go to war, I go to war for America. If I was to participate in, we talked about participate in the Olympics, I would be running in the Olympics for America. And when we sit there and we talk just because of skin color, we think, oh, these people, you don't ever hear white people say that I am from Europe. I'm a European American. No, they're going to say I'm American. And we talked about these things. In 1988, Jesse Jackson came up with the word when he came up and reclassified our people. One of the worst things that could have ever happened to black people. One of the worst things that could have ever happened to black people was being reclassified to being called African American. And we talked about these things that Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman, elders like Smokey Robinson, many of the elders were against the word African American. And how can you be African when they had to adopt that term? Over 200 mayors that came from Europe countries, that came from African countries, Caribbean countries, had to approve that you be called African. If you're African, you would have been African when you came here. Why can't you just be American? An American who's been born on this soil is American. Ain't no waving two flags. You either American or not. And these people come with a self-entitlement. How do you want to come into this country and be a citizen and be proud of Mexico at the same time? You are fleeing away from Mexico because you don't like your conditions. You are fleeing Mexico because you don't like the government. You don't like the government. You should be protesting and you should have outcry to your government in Mexico, not America. You should be waving your flags in Mexico. But you chose to burn the American flag. You chose to commit treason on America's ground. And don't tell me about years ago that California used to be a part of Mexico. Don't tell me that years ago Texas was a part of Mexico. You lost the war. Don't tell me about what it used to be. Don't tell me what it used to be. Canada used to be a part of the United States. People don't understand that Canada and Mexico was a part of America. We all know these things, that America was a continent, not a country. From all the way down, that America is a continent, not a country. So when we listen to these people and we listen to them tell us what it used to be, if we're going to talk about what it used to be, there was a time before Spain, the Spaniards was not there. When Spain did not come down and rule and came down and invaded Mexico. This is why many of these people are so light-skinned today. And we talked about that. You said exactly. I think Mexicans are waving Mexican flag because they are target by men. They are a target. And I never understood this. If I want to be free in a country, and I want to be a part of somebody's country, I'm sure not going to wave the American flag. If I wanted to go to Mexico, I'm going to be proud. I'm going to wave the Mexican flag because I want to be there. I'm going to follow the rules of the Mexican government because I want to be there. You can't go to somebody's country trying to and want to be there and be so proud of the country that you came from. You cannot go to someone's country and do something like that. Burn somebody's flag because you don't like the legal process. There's laws in every country, and all of us have to abide by laws. There's laws in every country. Every continent has laws. And if you break laws, there will be consequences to breaking laws. And we got to stop making excuses. And I asked the Latino community, you putting pressure on black people to lead your march, to lead your march. And you're not putting pressure on the other Latino communities who are not with you. You're not putting pressure on Cubans. You're not putting pressure on Puerto Ricans. You're not putting pressure on Dominicans, Honduras. You're not putting pressure on all of the Latino people across the world, but you're putting pressure on black people like black people can save you. Black people have their own troubles. And you want black people to take the talk, be your shield. And black people are done being the shield of everybody. Black people are tired of being the first in line because we told you. We told you what would happen to you. And you don't listen. You don't listen. You think that you are better because of skin color. Skin color doesn't make anybody better. There's no white person or black person that's better than a person. But people think that, and they have a mindset. They think that they're better because of skin color. They think that the lighter you are, that makes you closer to the white person, YT person. And that makes you closer to God. That's their mind. That's the mind that has destroyed people. And we have to get beyond that stuff. And then you want to cry out, you want to cry wolf when people don't want to hear you. because you didn't fight with them. You didn't fight with black people. Matter of fact, one of your Mexican presidents in the 1950s said that the black man is not my problem. I would not ally with him. Said the black man is the Negro is not my problem. I would not ally with him. And there were many Mexican people who feel the same way. Many Mexican people who would prefer to be with YT people. And many Mexican people write down YT in the box. They will never, we don't never see them talking about the dark complexion Mexican people. There are dark complexion Mexican people. There are Asian people that are dark people. And everybody frowns on darkness. They frown on dark skin because they've been taught to be racist. Racism is taught to you. You're not born to be that way. You're taught to dislike people. You can take children, you take two babies and you put these two babies together. They don't know nothing about color, but you were taught that way. That's where white supremacy come from. To think that the blue eyes is better than the brown eyes. And them not having the education to understand that that's a mutation. Blue eyes is a mutation. It's a recession gene. The brown eyes is a stronger gene. And they have African people with blue eyes. They have all black nations who can make blue eyes. Blue eyes come from black people. Green eyes come from black people. It's a mutation. All people come from dark skin. All people do. Even though you don't want to believe it. Very first man and woman were dark people. Even if you don't want to acknowledge what I'm telling you, because you've been trained to believe that lightness is better. And you have these people in Nigeria who are literally bleaching their children. These people in Nigeria are bleaching their babies. They're going through a pandemic in Nigeria. They are literally bleaching their children because they have been told that they're ugly. Their skin is ugly. And they think that white is close to godly. They think that light skin is close to godly. And we talked about this. We talked about how many people have self issues where they don't love themselves, that they feel bad about their own nose and their own lips. We talked about many black Americans who don't realize that you got people who making money off of these big full lips. Kardashians out here buying lips. Kim Kardashian out here, they bought their lips. You have natural lips. When they call you, many people will call you monkey. I ain't never seen a monkey that had full lips. They're never in the history of gorillas and monkeys. You have never seen a monkey with full lips. But yet people believe that. People like to be racist. People say black people eat watermelon. When I go to Alabama and I go to Mississippi, there's more white tea people who eat watermelon than black people do. But they would have you believe that black people are the ones eating watermelon, which black people should eat watermelon. Because men don't understand what you gain by eating watermelon. You're having sexual problems, people having problems with their libido, they're having problems with reptile dysfunctions, you got to eat watermelon. Watermelon helps men have a great sex drive. It helps your blood flow. Don't listen to these people, not be racist. You eat your watermelon. When people are racist and they talk about black people eating fried chicken, you go to the South, I see more YT people eat fried chicken. When you go to Popeyes down in Mississippi, you go to Popeyes down in Louisiana, you see more YT people in the line eating fried chicken. You see them in KFC, you see them in churches. So we have let these people make these things about us, these stereotypes about us. The people who are racist, the people who say these things are the ones who doing it more than you. And that's the reality of life. That's the reality of life. When people are hateful and they dislike you, they're really talking about themselves. When people say that say awful things about you and they don't, and stereotyping, saying that black men are not fathers in a household, not understanding that black men are fathers, that you are looking at Pookies and Ray Rays. When you stereotype and you take groups and you take one, there are fathers that are bad fathers in every race of people. They are neglecting families. In every race of people, there are bad fathers. In every race of people, there are killers, people who unalive each other. It's all about the geographics of how many people. If you are in Los Angeles, you're going to get more crime by Mexicans because there are more Mexicans in Los Angeles than there are black and white people. If you're in Chicago, you're going to get more criminal action in Chicago because there are more black people. And who's going to generate the second in Chicago? It would be Mexican people. I remember in Chicago, there was a couple of years ago, I don't think it was, I think it was about 2020, when Mexicans were attacking black people in Chicago. They were attacking black people, unaliving black people in Chicago. And now they are doing the same thing in parts of LA. They have been. And we don't talk about these things. Because if it was the other way around, if it was white people who was attacking black people, then it would be a hate crime. But when other groups of people do it, nobody say nothing about it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the what happens in a prison system where you cannot even be in the same bunk with a Mexican person. They will not even bunk with a black person. And how many of these Mexicans come in Compton and all of these areas where black people were, and they're running them out of their neighborhoods. School systems where they running them out of the schools. Nobody talked about the statistics of violence when they are the majority and they're not the minority. So Latinos, Mexicans, if you want help, you need to turn to your Latino brothers and ask other Latinos to help you. Because I don't think I want to stand for people who have not been standing for my people. So I'm going to continue telling my people, we need to mind our business. And I don't care if they're going to say it's going to happen to us. It has happened to us. You can't say, oh, y'all going to be next. When it's been going on with us. We've been telling y'all Mexicans to stand with us. We've been telling other immigrants to stand with us. And we have to face all of this by ourselves. We've been telling everybody to ally with us. And we have to stand on the front line by ourselves. So you're going to have to stand by yourself. You heard me? You heard me, baby? You're going to have to stand by yourself. Or call on your Latino community and put some pressure on your Latino brothers and sisters. That's what you need to ask the Cubans. Ask the Puerto Ricans. Ask the Honduras people. The Guatemalans. Ask all of them people to stand with you. And stop putting pressure, going on social media, talking about us. When you know we have been fighting this fight alone. Every bill that is passed in government Black people don't never get a bill that's just for them. When have you ever seen black people other than a holiday? You know what they give black people in America? They give black people Juneteenth. No disrespect to brothers and sisters who are celebrating Juneteenth. I don't got time for another holiday. What the hell we need to have an off day dancing and getting drunk all day? I don't need no damn celebrating all that shit. We got enough of holidays. They won't give us reparations. They won't do anything that is going to help our people. They're not giving us land. They're going to give you a holiday. They're going to give you a Martin Luther King statue. That's not liberty. All day, they're not giving your ancestors back for all of the work, the free labor that your ancestors have done in this country. Working for free. The Mexicans didn't work for free. They came here and get paid. They come here and get paid. I don't care if it's cheap labor. You're getting it paid. We work we out there sharecroppers. We did it for free. The sharecroppers did it for free. We had to grow our own food. Some of our families had to live off of collard greens and cornbread because they didn't have enough money to feed their families. There was picking sugarcane in Louisiana, tobacco in Mississippi, cotton. The economic, the money that was generated. Did you see anybody giving? We have not got reparations. We have not got land back. Where's our 5 acres in a mule? Where was that check at? And you say that we should be grateful. And we watch all other immigrants who get bills that are strictly for them. That's why I am not a Democrat. That's why I am not a Republican. I don't want the YT man ruling me. The YT man cannot save me. You got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, like we did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when we had our own Wall Street. We cannot rely on a people who don't give a damn for us. And we got to remove. We got people who are in the Democrat Party who got skin color like us. But you think that they care about us if they're Jamaican? You think they care about us if they're Nigerian? You think they care about us if they're some Caribbean person? How would they know anything about our struggle? And these people are working in our governments. And just because of their skin color, we're voting them in. And these are immigrants themselves who are passing laws. And they are out here not going for reparations for black people, for foundational black people in this country. Why would an immigrant pass a law for you? Why would he give you money? That's why the word African American was the worst thing that could have ever happened to black people in America. That law of Jesse Jackson, that was the worst thing that could have ever happened. You was an African American in the beginning. Some of you guys was American Indian. Some of you guys, then you became Negro. Then you became colored. Then you became black. Then you became Afro-American. Some of you guys became mulatto. All of a sudden, you're now African American. And when they put African on the name of America, now other African countries can come in and link themselves to you. And they're going to say, I'm African American, I should get reparations. They're going to say, I'm African American, and their ancestors did not go through what your ancestors went through. They have no connection through the Atlantic slave trade. They have no connection to the the slaves that were here. When we got to tell people this, there were many people who were already here before 1492 that got thrown into the slave line. You really believe that they brought thousands of Africans to this country Y'all really believe that they brought all millions of Africans to this country? There were many melanated people here before 1492. They were called the ancient civilization, the mound builders, the pyramid builders. These people were already here in this land. The Olmec, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the ancient civilization. You guys are part of these people that were already here on this land. And many Native American chiefs have admit when they came across the land bridge, they found the mounds and the pyramids. Who built the pyramids? Was it the aliens? Was it the aliens who built it? There were ancient people here well before 1492. But you have believed these YT people who have told you that you come from somewhere else. And they tell you to do the DNA. You never hear them tell an African to do DNA. Who the African is going to link himself to? If we're related to the African, he should be able to do a DNA test. You're never going to hear them say that. And many of these Africans are not native Africans. They got many. We talk about the out of Africa theory, but we never talk about the out of America theory. How many people were shifted away from this land through the courses of the years, the courses of the times. People in Liberia were people from here. Many of them people who are in the Caribbean islands were taken from here and brought over to the Caribbean islands. But y'all have been told that they were all Africans, and it's not true. There were many people from South America that were brought over into the Caribbean islands of Haiti and Jamaica. All these islands, Dominicans, all these people were a part of this land. That's why you see many people from Louisiana who have customs that are similar to the people of Dominicans or the Caribbean people. You see Mardi Gras and they have carnival, but you see the differences. There's no differences. So I want to thank you guys. Y'all make sure that you guys hit the like button. Also share the video. I'm going to be monetizing my content, so you won't hear too many cuss words like I have in the past. I have been doing content for a long time, and my content is growing. So I'm going to try to clean up on some of the words that I use that affects my content. I have been doing YouTube for a long time, and I have not made anything from it. Okay. But I am going to monetize my channel. I would like for you guys, if you guys would like to hit subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost to subscribe. It doesn't cost to hit the like button. It's for free. If you don't like what I'm saying, hit the dislike button. Okay, it costs nothing. If you are in the bushes, okay, if you are in the bushes, it doesn't cost anything just to hit the like button. You said, I love your comments. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want people to understand that when I talk, I don't have a hate for anybody. I love all people. Okay. I'm just telling people the way it is. Okay. I don't have a dislike for nobody. But you got to be fair about this. You cannot invade somebody's country. If you want to come into this country, you have to do it the legal way. You have to do it the legal way. That's the only way, is the legal way. I don't care what your feelings of what I'm saying. You have to do it the legal way. Okay? And that's why deporting these people is necessary, because these people are not doing it the legal way. And they're making it bad for other Latinos who have done it the legal way. They're making it bad for other African immigrants who have done it the legal way. Who are for other Cubans who have done it the legal way. You just can't come into somebody else's house and try to invade that house illegally. I'm sorry, okay? And don't be asking so-called foundational black people, American Indians, black people, don't be asking them to stand on the front line for you. We are not getting our ass whipped for you. You heard me? We are not getting out there getting sprayed down and getting our ass whipped for you. We are not getting bullets, rubber bullets, because the difference between y'all protests, they are giving you rubber bullets, but they give our ass real bullets. You heard me? They give y'all ass rubber bullets, but they give our ass. You see, that's the difference. That's the difference. Every time we go out there peaceful protesting, somebody gonna get unalived. Somebody gonna get unalived. Our people sacrifice so much when we stand on the front line, and we will not sacrifice ourselves for people who will not stand with us on anything. And you are out there, and like I said, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I am not a Biden fan. I don't believe in no YT people ruling me. I don't believe in nobody ruling me. But I agree on some of the things that Donald Trump is doing. And I can sit here and tell you that you chose Donald Trump. You were out here singing songs. You was out here praising how you were voting for Donald Trump. And you voted for your own truth. And now you want to be mad now. How you going to get upset when you voted to be deported? You voted to be deported. And you refuse to read with the sections he was running on. That's what happens when you don't read. Okay? I'm independent. I don't believe in none of these people. Okay? I believe the people need to stand for themselves and not rely on government. That's what I believe in. The people need to take back this country. We ain't worrying about no man. No man can't save us. Y'all have a beautiful day. You heard me? Y'all have a beautiful day. It was a nice one. Thank you for coming into the chat. You were awesome today. Thank you so much. You keep showing up the way you are. I will definitely put you as a mod. Okay, you are nice and trust me. You said I love it. You will have very soon the Latino community listen to you. I wish they would understand it's not hate. I wish they would understand that I'm here for the legal Latinos, not for the ones who are doing it unjust. I am for the ones that's legal, the ones who stop. Because you got to remember, for them people who waited years and years, to get an opportunity. Shout out to Keith Graham, the great Keith Graham. It's off, man. I'm so thankful to see my brother Keith Graham come into the chat. Shout out to you. Y'all catch the replay, Keith Graham. Make sure y'all share the video and everything. And y'all make sure y'all hit the like buttons. But I'm about to get off. But thank you guys so much. You guys are great. We gotta stand up. Y'all gotta get more content over here because I'm monetizing right now. And I gotta watch my mouth. I can't be potty mouth while monetizing. But you guys have a great day. I don't know what that noise is, but